Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're going to be looking at the Marvel Legends Mandarin figures. These came in the Face Off series. They were opposite Iron Man and War Machine. This is the variant. This is the one that's a little more sought after. This is the standard release. Personally, I like that head better, but I wish it was on that body because the green and yellow is what I prefer for Mandarin. But they are the exact same figure, same accessories and everything other than the color and the heads. So we're going to look at the heads individually, but otherwise we're just going to look at the one figure because it will tell you everything you need to know about the other. We're going to use the green one because I think it'll show up better on camera just because of how the green works instead of the red. So he stands just about 6.5 inches tall, so standard size. They come with these little energy blast accessories, whirly magic wind stuff. Looks like soap and water, but it's a little bit translucent, or it's all the way translucent with some like dry brushing airbrushed paint on top. So it's got some blue and clear mostly, and that just slides on over his fingers. I don't know if you can really see that in there too well, but that just slides on like that, and the thumb kind of holds it in place, and ta-da, you have magic soap fingers. There you go. We'll set those aside. We're going to look up his skirt to show you the articulation. He's got one of those skinny bodies underneath, which is common for people that have things like this, like Doctor Strange has a similar mold. So for his legs, they're just standard Marvel Legends legs, T-jointed ball disc hips or ball hinge hips, full range of motion there technically, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, shin swivel, ankle pivot, no ankle rocker, and a toe pivot. So full range of motion, full set of articulation down there, but underneath this heavy, though flexible, vinyl, rubber, whatever you want to call it, skirt, you're not going to get a whole lot of posing done because the legs aren't strong enough to hold the skirt in place. So he's going to be standing pretty much straight up all the time. And this is all one piece. So articulation's really going to be limited. Posing's going to be really limited, but I guess that's okay. He does have a flight stand hole in his back, so you can have him hovering, which is okay, but which actually would probably look pretty cool. Just thinking about that right there. Ooh, like a ghost. But that's really all you're going to do is either standing straight up or floating straight up, so whatever. The arms have standard, now this is going to be hard to show you. I believe there's a butterfly joint in there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's in there. He's got ball hinged shoulders with a bicep swivel. Pretty sure he has double jointed elbows. I had one of these taken apart once. Not any of these because you have to cut this open or at least pull it apart. So I'm pretty sure he has double jointed elbows and then a forearm swivel, a wrist pivot, and a finger pivot. Now the hands are pretty cool other than having the bright pink fingernail polish. Let's look at the hands up close. See, you can't, even the arms aren't strong enough to bend the robe. So you're not going to get much posing done at all. But he does have his rings on, which is pretty important for Mandarin. So if you ignore the pink fingernail polish, then you look at the rings. He's got all the rings on, which is, I think that's a pretty cool detail. Not much of a bad guy without the rings. They're not done as well as they probably could have been, but they are probably good enough, in my opinion. Then the head has some articulation. It's on one of those discs with a ball peg coming up. Hopefully you can see that, probably not though. So it can look up and down a little bit, actually a good bit, at least down. Not so far up, but that's mostly due to the hair, and then it can rotate. Now this head has a really nice sculpt and decent paintwork. It looks pretty cool. I'm just not a huge fan of the armored or the helmet Mandarin. I don't care for that as much. The robe has some decent sculpt work, but the paint work is pretty atrocious. There's still some mold release marks on there. Paintwork is really, really bad. The yellow is just completely see-through. There's a lot of green showing through. Maybe it doesn't look so bad on camera. I can't really tell on the little screen here, but it looks really bad in person. This is all molded. All the lines for the fire is molded. Everything is molded, all the details are. It's just the paint is really bad. So he's just going to sit there and be a display piece, not a focus point for any collector. We have all the same issues with bad paint on the red version, so we don't need to go into that. It's the exact same mold, like I already said. And he has a new head, which I do prefer this head, even though the paintwork is not that good. He's missing some paint on his hair, which is apparently made out of clear plastic. So the paint that's missing there, I don't know why they didn't just mold it in black. It's a separate piece. But either way, you can see right through to his skin-colored head, so that's not the best. But I do like this mold because it's a pretty cool Mandarin head, I think. It works for me, and I'm happy with it. So maybe if you wanted to, you could swap the two heads if you don't mind customizing your collection pieces. Then you have a pretty good Mandarin, at least the way I would like it. He does have the exact same rings and everything, so we don't need to get into that. So there it is, guys. There's the two Mandarin figures, or there are the two Mandarin figures from the Marvel Legends Face-Off series. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, more custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.